You will never be able to prevail in an argument with a woman for the 5 reasons that are about to be presented. First, you can't debate someone's emotional state. This is not a game that can be won under any circumstances. However, there isn't much of a debate here. She is expressing herself, and that is precisely what she is doing using the language that she is utilizing at this moment. And please don't misunderstand me when I say that I'm not arguing that a person can, at any point in their lives, transform from being a wild emotional person into a Spock-like paragon of logic and reason. When I say this, I mean that once someone crosses the line into emotional lunacy, there is no amount of logical or fair argument that can convince them differently. My personal experience has shown me that to be true, and the longer you remain a part of it, the more challenging it gets. What I want you to realize is that the incessant insults, demeaning, and recriminations that women level at men, as well as the constant attacks on other political parties, are wrong and should not be tolerated. They are able to communicate their feelings through this activity. They are furious at the time for whatever reason. They have righteous indignation over the situation. Because of this, they are venting all of their feelings to one another, which ultimately leads to a very heated argument between the two of them. You won't be able to convince them otherwise, so you might as well proceed to the next stage of the process. 2. If you start making your argument, it will infuriate them and stir up even more strong feelings than they already had. These kinds of predicaments tend to escalate for a number of reasons, and this is one of them. It was never intended to be a logical and reasonable arrangement, and it never will be. However, if you start making progress, they will ratchet up their feelings, which will make them feel even worse about the situation. To put it more succinctly, it is a continuation of the process that is already underway. They are letting their feelings show through in this manner. They will not, contrary to popular belief, provide a coherent argument and then wait for you to return so that you can discuss it with them. Third, you are most certainly dealing with someone who is a habitual liar, which is a significant issue in this relationship. You should be aware that there is a strong likelihood that you are dealing with someone who gets ahead in life by portraying themselves as victims of other people. The problem is that they want to condemn individuals who are honest and who put in a lot of effort. When people are unwilling to do the work, they point out flaws in the work of other people and claim that you are performing improperly in order to avoid having to do the task themselves. Interacting with this individual is like dealing with someone who gets by in the world by manipulating the emotional states of other people. As a direct consequence of this, we have moved past the point when one person only expressing their sentiments through words and then making change in the environment is sufficient to move us forward. Someone who has reached this degree has been someone who, from the very beginning, has resorted to the use of emotional abuse and manipulation in order to thoroughly establish themselves in the world. 4. She will have the ability to say that you were the one who made her cry. It is up to you to comprehend the feelings that she is experiencing. You made her weep by disagreeing with her and trying to reason with her despite the fact that she was right. She does not want you to have a level head about the situation. She would like for you to feel something. She intends for you to lose any semblance of sanity. If you disagree with her on anything, she will accuse you of sexism, racism, or any other ism that is insensitive to feminism, among other things, and she will do this regardless of whether or not you are actually guilty of any of those things. Because what they are expressing is not an argument based on logic or reason, but rather their sentiments, specifically their feelings of resentment. In addition to this, as I mentioned earlier, they have the potential to kick you out at any time, whereas you do not have this power over yourself. Because you are a trustworthy individual who puts in a lot of effort and have a strong moral character. Therefore, it is not merely men and women who are manipulating and using sexuality to get by in what should otherwise be a meritocracy. Rather, it is predominantly women from lower social classes who are engaging in such behavior. It is feasible for a person to be excluded from the social group in which they now participate and perhaps ostracized entirely. There is a level of social power held exclusively by women that males do not have. At that point, the lady has the option of pressing criminal charges against you. If she does so, the male will be arrested and put to prison for the alleged crime. There are certain men in my life who try to put on an act as if it doesn't matter if the divorce rules were modified in such a way that it became mandatory for all men to pay full child support. They say this to me all the time. In the event that this protocol was violated in any way, the man would be taken into custody and sentenced to jail. And the response would be something along the lines of, well, that's politics, and that has nothing to do with MGTOW, or anything to that effect. No, that is not the case at all. The power for women to bring males to their knees through the usage of these institutions is within their reach. 5. You are competing in a game that is being held on their domain. Do you think of yourself as being on a level playing field with women in terms of the experiences and emotions you experience? You are not, in fact. Do you believe that there is no hierarchy among us and that we are all fundamentally the same thing? That's not how we operate. Women have abilities that men do not, and these abilities have to do with the manipulation of their emotions and the expression of their feelings. As a consequence of this, there are some excellent female writers and even some decent female writers who are sometimes capable of expressing themselves in an effective manner. As was mentioned earlier, men and women are equally endowed with a wide range of skills and capabilities. Both men and women have their own unique set of shortcomings, yet there are certain differences between the two. One of the shortcomings that males have is that they are unable to recognize when someone is attempting to manipulate them or take advantage of them. This is especially true when the person in question is a stunningly attractive lady. If you are found to be telling the truth, there will be repercussions for you legally. As a result, it is exceedingly risky for males to meet and date women via the internet, and men are unable to be entirely truthful with themselves when they are in the presence of other women. It's hard to fathom how much further they've fallen since we last saw them. You won't be able to make her weep, and you won't be able to argue with her either. Neither of those things will be possible. It is essential that we focus on her feelings. Therefore, it is irrelevant to consider what would be best for her in the long run from a practical standpoint. Her emotions are the most important thing. As a direct consequence of this, you are competing according to her standards. Because of this, you should avoid getting into debates with women because you will inevitably end up losing. So tell me about your plans for the years to come. Although you will be required to have some kind of interaction there, you are going to keep it to a minimal and be aware of the risks involved in doing so. You are going to endeavor to limit your exposure to that field as much as possible. You are asking for trouble for yourself if you get involved in this situation. You are going to pursue your own course of action. You are going to concentrate your efforts on activities that are more commonly associated with men. Participate in occupations or pastimes that are helpful to you, maintain a healthy level of physical fitness, and develop daily routines that assist you in maintaining your surroundings and the order in your own home. It is a surefire approach to raise your chances of success, which will improve your abilities, increase your strength, and will not bring you any harm or injury if you operate on the basis of male ideas and ideals that you know will make you stronger and more fit tomorrow.